see the way they hate. And I know better than to listen to the people who are calling us slaves. I can feel the sunlight shining.
Well, good morning and welcome to episode 862 of the Lots Project Morning Show, where the coffee is strong, the opinions are stronger, and everything is always filter free. I'm Brian, your host, and it's November 3rd, 2025. This morning I'm enjoying a fresh cup of light Ethiopian from foodforestfarms.com because life's too short for shitty coffee. At Food Forest Farms, your beans are roasted by real human hands using a clean stream air roaster. More than just a customer, your family. Get 10% off with code LOTS10, that's LOTS10 over at foodforestfarms.com. And the shipping there is always free. While you're there, check out the C4 Club for even more awesome perks. Coffee Club is fantastic. The C4 Coffee Club. Really consider joining it today. Today we've got another packed show. Roadwork progress that I'm going to go check out today, but a lot has gotten done. That is a good thing for sure. My thoughts on the Trainwreck Docuseries over on Netflix. We watched a bunch of those this weekend. A few plans for some barrels I just picked up at our local barrel guy. I'll tell you a little bit about that and plenty more from around the property and beyond. So grab your coffee, smash that like button, and let's get started. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everybody doing today? Hope you're having a fantastic morning. Should be nice and rested after daylight savings. I think that was Saturday night into Sunday. We get an extra hour of sleep. So hopefully you're all nice and rested and ready to go for this Monday morning. I woke up wide awake. I think it was like 3 o'clock on Sunday morning. Went back to bed for quite a while, but then this morning definitely eyes popped open early and felt like I was running late. So just because the clock changes doesn't mean your body rhythm does. So hopefully you're going through the time change. You're going through the change in your life smoothly, and everything's going all right for you. So when are they going to just get rid of the whole daylight savings thing? I'm not sure, but not this year. So this light Ethiopian that Brian sent out this month for the C4 Club finished up the Survivors blend. I believe it was the 8s I was drinking, either the Aces or the 8s. I can't remember. I didn't really look at the label that closely, but it was the light Colombian and medium dark Brazilian blend, and it was phenomenal. I drank a little bit, probably drank a little bit more than I actually should have during the week, and I went through it a little quicker than normal, but it was fantastic. And then on to one of my staple favorites, the light Ethiopian. So if you're into premium coffee, I highly suggest that you check out Food Forest Farms. And while scrambling over there is incapacitated and can't walk from his accident, he'll be still selling the twin packs of the Survivor blend. And just for the one that I've tried, that light Colombian and medium dark Brazilian, that's worth buying the twin pack alone. So head on over to foodforestfarms.com and check that out. Kat is getting in her position for the show. Just to aggravate and irritate me. She's been running around and this morning already she's a menace. The cat for sure is a menace. She dumped over our kindling box, had a little side box of kindling and fire starters sitting there, and all of a sudden I hear it just dump over. And so she decided that she wanted to play in the box, and that it wasn't for storing the things that we wanted in it. And so she was playing in that for a little while, and then ADHD herself, she just started running around playing more. So I imagine at some point we might get her climbing up the back of the chair this morning like usual. So we'll see. She actually has an appointment on Friday. She is going to go get spayed, and from what I understand, once you spay a kitten, they kind of calm down. So I'll be excited if that happens, and we get her to calm down a little bit, because she's pretty good. I don't know. can't complain too much, I guess. But she definitely has her moments where you just want her to chill the fuck out. So anyway, last week on an offhanded comment, I made a prediction on the Bitcoin price this morning. Might do that every week. I don't know. We'll just we were throwing out guesses. Bless you, Corey. We were just throwing out guesses over in the Telegram group at the beginning of the week. So if you want to get in on this and you want to make a guess every week, you can head on over to the Telegram chat at t.me/LotsChat. That's t.me/LOTSCHAT, t.me/LotsChat. You can put that in any browser if you don't use the Telegram app, and it should prompt you to download it. It's a really cool communications app, and just ask to join the group and look for the pinned message. It should be a message about what the Bitcoin price is going to be the following Monday morning, and might as well do it right off the bat every Monday while I'm having my coffee and we're getting rolling here. Last week, you can see over my shoulder my guess. Morning, Mike's Homestead. Thanks for popping in. My guess last week is $122,651 per Bitcoin. I was way off. I was way off, but I wasn't the farthest off, so that's nice. I was definitely not the farthest off. So I got the list of guesses here. We'll start from furthest to closest. Just so you know, the current Bitcoin price as of me talking right now is $107,838. $107,838. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guesses in this week. First guess was the furthest away, was 128,555. That was Mr. Coffee Scrambling himself from foodforestfarms.com was the furthest away. Brr, boo. Oh, I should get the hold on, guys. Scramble it in with the guess of 128,555. Oh, it was bad guess. Then we got John Palmer coming in at 125,783. Not much better. My guess, I already said 122,651. Get a little closer. Blueberry, Texas, over in the Telegram group, guessed 118,757. That's not very close either. We really packed it in on guessing the Bitcoin price this week. Canadian Farmstead rolled in a little closer at 117,623. Wilder Life getting even closer at 114,567. And man, the closest by far, within 1,000, within $500, my man Pip down there in sunny Florida, a Florida man named Pip, guest came in at 107,412.76. Even came in with the change, which I don't have on my reading, so I'm not sure how close that actually made him. But man, he even went with the closest to actual without going over. So old Price is Right rules. Congratulations, Pip. You win absolutely nothing other than congratulations, Pip. So we'll be doing this again next week. So head on over to the Telegram chat and put your guess in what the Bitcoin price will be next morning. Congratulations, Pip. So, and anyway, since we got all of that kind of stuff out of the way, back to normal. Haven't got a bunch of work done on the cabin. Feels like forever. It's been at least a couple weeks since we finished the subfloor. I've been walking in and walking out. I can't remember if since the road work started. If you haven't followed the show, a few weeks ago, The gentleman that does the road work for us did my driveway, is going to finish the driveway, do a bunch of work out there. He owns some properties along the easement road, and we're doing some road work. We've all pitched in, and we're going to get the road kind of taken care of. He started the work, took off. We got a bunch of rain and fresh cut clay and no chert and mud and rain. It just all doesn't work, especially with my truck and being the only vehicle we have. I can't afford for it to get stuck. I can't afford for it to run off the road. I can't afford to just test it out. So for the last couple weeks, I would walk in and walk out, evaluated the road. There were a couple times where I'm positive I could have driven in and driven out, but already had walked about halfway back, and so I just kept going. I've been currently working on clearing our solar field, clearing all the briars and raspberries and underbrush, and then I gotta take down a bunch of trees. So carrying a machete in and some water in a backpack is not a big deal. As far as Delinquent's Gully, I've been doing more clearing for our hops project. I've been doing a little exploring, looking for a spring head and a few other things. So nothing where I needed to drive back. It was actually like a half-mile walk to start my day and end my day. Not horrible by any means, and I could probably use the exercise. So that was the last couple weeks. And we're waiting for our windows and doors to come in that we have ordered. I've been waiting to kind of figure out the road situation, watching the weather and whatnot to order framing lumber to continue the project. So we've been on a kind of a hard stop. Windows and doors, I think they're coming in this week, maybe next week. I have my list for our framing lumber that I'm going to just have them deliver it all at the same time whenever we can get in. And hopefully it's soon enough that we don't have to pay some stupid storage fee or housing fee or something like that for the windows and doors. Otherwise, I'm going to have them delivered somewhere and move them once we have access. So this is for the whole week. This kind of where I've been sitting, and hadn't really heard from the guy doing the work. And Saturday, Corey and I went out to get mail, and so we pull in, and sitting up at Jamie's house, the first house on the easement road, was a Mini X, and our buddy that's doing the road work was sitting in the Mini X. They were coming out to work for the weekend, and it sounds like they did a stroke of business. Now we're just going to be waiting on. He was hoping. So I didn't go out, and I didn't end up going out yesterday. I was going to go out and check out how far they got. We got some rain and some other stuff going on, so we decided not to go make the trip yesterday. Since I had to go out today anyway, I have some things I have to do. I have to go out today. So I haven't gotten eyes on what they got done, but it sounds like they accomplished quite a bit from the last time I checked in, and they were still working. So I'm excited to see how far they got. It sounded like we're at a position where the dirt work's going to be done, and we'll just be waiting on chert and getting loads of chert brought in and get laid down. So if it looks anything like it did after it dried out a little bit, after the rain, this last round when they started the work, I think I should be able to get delivery in this week. I've been looking at the forecast. There isn't a whole lot of rain in the forecast, lots of sun and slight breeze. So should dry up pretty quick, should be pretty solid, and be able to get a delivery truck back there. So hopefully windows, doors come in beginning of the week here, and I get an order in, and we can get that lumber in and get moving again on getting things framed out, getting windows and doors in. And then after we get that done, we'll get that metal siding on the outside and at least be dried in, if not framed in, dried in, and insulated before it gets super cold. So we will see. I'm excited to go out and check out the road work, check out what he decided to do and how much they got done. So that'll be later this morning. So you'll have to stick around for next week to get the update on whether road is accessible if we got a material delivery, and what happened during the week. So that is the cabin lack of update, I guess, would be a better term than update. But yeah, we will see. Still waiting, and getting better and better at waiting. The older I get, I'm getting a little more patient. So let's see. So not much of update there. Oh, I did make a little progress on some cabin projects. I guess not cabin projects for us when we get out there full time. Going to be, I had to pick up a burn barrel. We're accumulating some cardboard. We're accumulating some other stuff that really isn't the best material for using. We want to start getting rid of some garbage that's out there, so picked up 55-gallon drum. May or may not be having some little fires in that. And also picked up some drums for a biochar project. That I started designing kind of a biochar system quite a while ago, a couple of years now, when we were traveling, or when we were first settling down, and it just had to kind of fall by the wayside, basically because I didn't have anywhere to work on it. I just had other things, more pressing things to do. Now that we're going to be out there, and I have some more tools, I picked up a welder. I recently got a wireless jigsaw as a sample product to test out. I have some tools, and I have a space. I have some spots to put things. I'm going to go ahead with messing around with some biochar again. And I'm really just going to start out with a miniature version of the large trailer I would eventually end up liking to design. So I'm going to go with a 55-gallon external drum with a 30-gallon internal retort inside it. So basically a 55-gallon drum with all the wood in it to burn, to heat up the wood inside the 30-gallon drum, which will end up turning into the biochar. Gentleman close to the property, he sells barrels. He sells used barrels, used IVC totes, plastic drums, metal drums, all sorts of stuff. We've picked up some black plastic IVC totes for him for rainwater collection. And I just keep an eye on his Facebook post and look for barrels. He sells burn barrels, he sells closed top barrels, he sells all sorts of stuff. So I was browsing this week, and I saw that he had 30-gallon drums, metal drums, and that's the ideal size for this kind of retort inside a kiln, inside a burn barrel setup for making biochar. And so I reached out. I said, "Hey, man, you have 30-gallon open top in stock?" And he's like, "No, I don't. I actually got a guy that swings by every time I get him in. He swings by and picks them all up, and he makes heaters out of them or something." And I was like, "Oh, bummer. Can you let me know next time you get an order in? It's not imminent. I don't need it today, but sometime soon I'd like to pick one up from you." And it wasn't like maybe 7 hours later, he sends me a message. He's like, "Hey, guy just dropped off a bunch of 30-gallon drums. If you want one, I would go. It's usually only a couple days," and that guy comes and scoops them all up. So knowing that I wanted to do this project kind of in the near future, this isn't like a tomorrow project, but I needed a burn barrel. I wanted to do this project, and so I made a trip up there, grabbed my cash, and made my trip up there, and picked up a barrel. I picked up a closed top, or an open top metal drum 55, and an open top metal drum with a lid 55-gallon, and then that 30-gallon open top with a lid. And now the only thing I need left, the only thing I need for the build is I have to find myself like a 2 or a 4 foot section of 6-inch stovepipe for a chimney to come out of that 55-gallon drum. If you haven't seen the 30-gallon inside a 55-gallon biochar reactor, you can go to YouTube, Porterhouse and Teal. If you haven't ever seen them, they have a great channel. But if you go and look at his biochar, let me see if I still have it. Yeah, I got a video link. So if you're watching the live stream, the video link is in the comments. If you're listening to the audio, I will try to remember. I'm jotting it down right now. I'll try to remember to get the YouTube link for this biochar reactor in the show notes. Give me 1 second here. But anyway, it's a really cool setup. One of the things I like most about it is you fill the negative space. So obviously you put a 30-gallon drum inside a 55-gallon drum, and there's some extra space. You fill that with the wood that starts the reaction. Basically you burn it and get it hot enough that the wood sealed inside the 30-gallon starts to off gas. It starts to put off wood gas. It's the process called pyrolysis. It's basically burning the wood with no oxygen. And instead of burning like a fire, it actually heats up to the combustion temperature, and it puts off organic gases. It off gases basically what they call wood gas. And if you put some holes in the bottom of the 30-gallon drum, it'll push the wood gas out. And the wood gas is flammable. It's very volatile. It's pretty flammable. It's definitely flammable. And the beauty of this system is once the reaction starts and the inside drum starts pushing off that wood gas, and it pushes out the holes into the already lit wood that's heating up this center container, that wood gas basically becomes the fuel to complete the heating cycle of making the biochar on the inner drum. So basically it burns and it off gases, and it sustains that flame and that heat until it stops off gassing. And the beauty of it is when it stops off gassing, that means the biochar is done and the flame goes out. So if you make biochar, if you've messed around with it at all, and you've gone through the process of quenching it with water at the end to stop the reaction, to keep it from burning into ash, there's a bunch of different methods to making it, but most of them require water and quenching it to finish it. This system basically extinguishes itself, and you just set it up, you load it up, you light the fire, you kind of monitor it for a little bit, and once it's going, it just burns until it's done. And when it's done, it's done. There's no more heat, there's no more fuel, and it just cools off, and you're good. So this is one of the key points in what I was thinking about for a long-term project with a unit that is mobile and you can use it for different size batches and things like that. Is if I wanted to use it in remote places where I don't have water, I don't have to worry about the quenching to make good biochar. If you use this process where you're using some wood to get the reaction started, and then using the wood gas that's being output as the fuel source, once that's gone, it's just done. So that's the system I want. That's the beauty of it, is the no water. You can pretty much do it anywhere if it's set up right. And so I'm going to mess around with that. Should be here in the next few weeks, depending on when we get material, what we're doing on the cabin build, what we kind of have, what we have cooking in as far as time. as far as time commitment, doing things. And if I have some free time, I might mess around with getting this put together. Like I said, I got to source a piece of stovepipe to get that chimney made. But yeah, it should be easy. It should be pretty straightforward. And then we can start messing around with running batches of biochar. I did kind of look into some things, and one of the questions I had. So feedstock is kind of something that a lot of people struggle with. Feedstock, A, for making the biochar, and B, feedstock for the fuel to get the reaction started. And so I've been kind of sourcing out places for that, basically looking for furniture shops or mills or things of that nature with that have cut off scrap that they can't really sell, they can't really do anything with, and they usually give it away for free or very low cost. That is one option. Another option is fuel for is wood from the property or biomass from the property. And so I started digging in to see if the deadfall, half rotted, really punky wood, which we have a ton of on the 15 acres that we're managing there. This is old branches that have fallen down and laid in the forest floor and just kind of started to disintegrate. If that stuff made good char. I wasn't sure because there isn't a whole lot of fuel there. I don't know if you've ever picked up a kind of a rotting, decomposing branch in the woods and it kind of crumbles. If you throw it into a bonfire, it just smokes and smolders and doesn't really do a whole lot. This stuff is actually really, really good for making the char, the feedstock that turns into the char. It really isn't good for starting the reaction. That stuff in the outer barrel, in that outer area that you light it to get it up to temp, basically to start the whole process. We have a ton of this rotting stuff, so we have a lot of potential material to turn into the biochar, and now I'm just sourcing wood to start that reaction, to fill that outer space, to get lit, and have some few ideas. We have a pretty decent source for pallets close, and I'm thinking pallet wood would burn really nice and hot and quick and get that reaction kicked off. We'll have lots of end scraps of firewood and things like that in the long term, but right now we don't have anything like that cut and ready to go and dry. And so feedstock issues will be something that we'll have to deal with in the future, and it'll take care of it. We'll figure it out for sure. So, but excited that that dry, punky, rotting wood makes really good biochar, and actually confirmed that with Canadian Farmstead over in the Telegram chat this week when we were talking about it. So that's a little update with the barrels. Got those picked up for the property. Wood stove's running. Our wood stove here is running. We kicked off the wood stove season here in the camper with the cubic mini wood stove. We're getting down to the high to mid 30s this weekend, overnight temperatures, and then not really up. They're kind of rainy, dreary, drizzly days where the sun wasn't beating on the camper and raising the temperature. And so we decided to kick off some fires. I think we started Friday evening. We had one just to get things going and make sure the stove was up to snuff. I talked about last week that I got up and cleaned the stovepipe and got everything prepped up and ready. It worked. It's good. It is what it is. It's a really tough setup in our camper that Mike's Homestead said he lit his wood stove Thursday night. Yeah, it's about that time of the year. It looks like tonight. So we have it rolling this morning. It was 32 degrees outside, 32 degrees this morning. Currently, I think it still is 32. I think we were looking at today, and then the rest of the week, it looks good. We have to play a game here. We look at the forecast, look at what the day is going to be, because if we light a fire, if it's going to be like the low 40s and then it's going to be in the 70s during the day with bright sun, by like 9 o'clock, it's warm in the camper from the sun beating on it. So we have to kind of look at the day as a whole and decide whether we want to light that fire off. I think we're going to be there probably today, maybe tomorrow. The problem is my stack of wood outside that I was hoping it was left over from last year and had it stacked up there. I'd been peeking at it recently to decide if it was any good, and it looked nice and dry. It looked like it sat there all year and dried out. If you recall, if you were listening to the show last year, you'll recall that I purchased some wood, a couple batches of wood last year that weren't necessarily seasoned and dry like they should have been if they were for sale. Realized quickly that people in Tennessee and people in Minnesota have completely different ideas of what dry season wood is, and it makes sense. I mean, Tennessee, you're not using your wood stove like you are in Minnesota, life or death. I think Tennessee, even if your wood stove didn't burn real hot or it didn't work real well or didn't light and it's a pain in the ass, it's not the end of the world. It doesn't get too extremely cold here, and when it does, you can get by, or you can find some place to get warm. Minnesota, it's such a long season, it gets so cold. If you don't have dry season wood, you're just basically screwed. So coming from a different world, and even growing up in New York, there was cold. It was cold enough for a long enough time that people that were burning firewood knew that it needed to be at least a year season, maybe 2-year season. I think the stuff that they were selling last year was the one couple probably cut it down that morning. And the second couple, it was better. The second load of wood I bought was better. But it still left a little bit to be desired. So I was hoping that it dried up over the summer. A lot of it just got rotted. A lot of it's pithy and crappy, and we'll see. I cut up a bunch and brought a bunch. We had enough for a fire this weekend and this morning, and I will probably run out maybe today or tomorrow. I do have a source out at the property, a couple of huge deadfall trees that kind of landed and lay with the trunk up in the air, so they haven't been rotting. They've just been drying in the sun and the breeze. And so hopefully I'll be able to go chunk some of that up and burn that for quite a while. That's a similar situation to what we did last year. I was able to find the same setup where a old tree had fallen and kicked up onto the stump that it fell from, and it just sits up in the air, and it doesn't really rot. It just gets super dry, and it burns really well. So got a couple sources of that for this year, and then already prepping firewood for when we move out to the property and cutting that longer for a bigger wood stove, because our cubic mini takes like 5-inch wood. Takes a little wiener, and then the wood stove we'll have in the cabin will end up taking more like 16 to 17 inch. So I don't want to cut all the stuff up into little tiny pieces and then not end up using it. And so a lot of work to cut that up. So anyway, wood stove's rolling. It's nice and cozy in here, and excuse me. It's been going good. It's working well. Had to order a new screen for it. Probably should have done that last year. We have there's a little air intake on the front, and we have to go in there and clean that out every once in a while. And when you take the plate off and take the flame arrest screen out, it just, I mean, our stove's 4 or 5 years old. Just got old and brittle and broke, and we've been dicking around with it. Last year, for the majority of the year, it was in 2 pieces, and it wasn't horrible to be able to hold it up with 2 pieces and get the plate over it. Towards the end of last season, it ended up breaking into 3 pieces, and it's really, really difficult to hold it and get it put back together. So Corey put her foot down and said, we need it. We need new screen. and I agreed for sure. I wasn't able to do it with 2 pieces, let alone 3. Get it back together. That was all on her. And so I got that ordered. Coming from Canada, we'll see how long it takes. The screens were like $5. Shipping was like $5, and I don't know how much tariffs are. I'm pretty sure they take care of the tariffs, but I don't know what kind of shipping delay we're going to have en route from Quebec to Tennessee, because the company that we bought the wood stoves up in Quebec, we've been really happy with it. If you're looking for a stove to heat a small space, Cubic Mini Wood Stove makes a great product. I think we're going to be pulling it out of the camper and likely transferring it into a shed or workshop or another structure on the property. It isn't big enough or strong enough to handle a 750 square foot space that we're going to have. Probably more like a 200 to 300 square foot space. It would really heat up well. If it's well insulated, probably bigger than that. Camper is a tough situation because it's basically a hallway in here. If you've ever been in an RV, you kind of know. And the only place we had to mount it is about halfway in the middle, and so it doesn't heat very evenly in here just because of the setup. But the product itself works great. I think for a workshop or a shed, Cubic Mini Wood Stove is something you're going to want to check out. So that's going. Wood stove is running. Got the burn barrels and the biochar barrels for our property. What else is on my list here? Snap. Oh, snap, guys. Government's still shut down. How are you doing with it? How are you doing with the government shutdown? Have you noticed? Is it affecting your life so far? I tried to look this weekend about Snap. That was the big thing going into November 1st. Here we are, November 3rd. Snap benefits were supposed to run out. Snap being the supplemental. I have it here. Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, food stamp, basically food stamps. We're supposed to run out on November 1st. It sounded like last minute a couple judges said that the federal government has to fund it, and the federal government said, I don't know about that because we don't have any money, and legally we can't use this funds or that funds. I didn't really get into reading the whole thing very much. But basically it sounds like they're going back and forth to decide who needs to fund it, if they need to fund it, and the whole it's just a mess, it looks like. There were quite a few rumblings online about what's going to happen when people don't get their SNAP benefits this weekend. Will there be riots? Will there be people just stealing shit? And I don't know. I haven't seen any updates, to be honest, guys. And I didn't want to really go down that rabbit hole this weekend. I was having a good weekend, getting some stuff done, and spending some time with Corey. And I didn't really want to go down the rabbit hole of people fighting and stealing and all of that stuff and flood my feed with it. So what have you seen? Have you guys seen anything happening? Have you seen I know there were definitely more than a few people that were saying we're just going to go take what we need. If they're not going to send us the money, we're just going to go take it. I haven't seen a whole lot. I think I saw a parody of that video, but really I didn't spend much time on socials this weekend for sure. So I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's happening. Locally, we didn't go out. We went out to the property, and the rest of the day we stayed home. So I haven't really ventured out. I know that lack of SNAP benefits will definitely affect a lot of people in this area that I'm staying in. It is pretty rural. It is pretty poor. And it's just going to affect the area. I haven't been out since it's run out, or maybe run out. And from what I saw initially, it looked like Tennessee was not going to cover any shortages. Mike's Homestead said, saw my first indication Saturday, wanted to check out the water height where I fish, and the USGS website said data could be unavailable, but it was there. Well, thank God. Imagine if you had to go and measure the height of the water yourself. But it was there. So good. This area definitely is, it's going to be affected. But the beautiful thing I did see on social media over the weekend, which made me feel good, made me also scratch my head a little bit, was I've seen at least a dozen, and I'm sure there's more, just a dozen in my small feeds, different places that were doing food drives, were doing charity fundraisers, were putting together emergency food boxes, were organizing distribution for donated food. And I remember when I was a kid, there was a lot more of this. There was a lot more of the church. I'm not a huge church guy. I'll be the first one to tell you that I don't go to church. I have a lot of questions for people. I don't have a problem if you do. It's not for me. I like to discuss it. It's an interesting thing to me, but I just don't partake. But the churches took care of a lot of food shortages, a lot of food bank stuff. There were private organizations that were handing out food. There were, it felt like there was a lot more of that. And I read something along the way in my life, and I can't remember where it came from or who said it, but it was an analysis of charitable donations having an inverse relationship to taxation amounts. So as taxes went up and the government took more of your money, you had less money to donate. And one of the things you probably pay the taxes first is because they'll come and put you in a cage if you don't pay those. The church isn't going to come and put you in a cage. I mean, you might end up in hell or something if you stop donating to the church. So good morning, Hunter. Thanks for stopping in. He says the local Walmart made half on Saturday under last year. Are you saying that their gross sales, their sales for Saturday was half of the previous year? There could be a lot of things to do with that, but I'm sure that the SNAP benefits has a huge impact on that. But I just remember a lot more private charity, and it seems like we've really it seems like we've gone to a complete reliance on the government, and that local stuff has really faded away. There are blessing boxes. If you've never seen those, they're kind of like the little libraries that people put in their front yard, but it's full of food. Take it if you need it, leave some if you can. That is kind of popular around here. But it was amazing to see the people figure out how to take care of themselves when it wasn't even at the point where the benefits had been cut off. People were preparing, people were organizing, people were putting together ways to make sure people didn't go hungry. Why aren't we doing that instead? I saw a figure that the SNAP program costs the government, costs the taxpayer if we really want to be honest, the government doesn't make any money. The SNAP benefit costs the taxpayer $8 billion a month. $8 billion a month. I'm curious how many commodities boxes, I think is what we ended up calling it in the Telegram chat. But a box of food, a box of essential food, something that you picked up on Monday, it lasts 3 or 4 days, and then you come back later in the week and it lasts for the rest of the week. How many of those boxes could we put together for $8 billion a month? How many of these local food shelves, how many of these charity programs, how many of these Meals on Wheels, not government funded, could be done for $8 billion a month? You always know that the least efficient way to handle dollars is through the government. What is it? The most effective way is spending your money on you. The next most effective way of use of money is spending your money on someone else, and the least effective way to use money is to spend somebody else's money on someone else. Was that the whole thing? I think there might have been 4 levels there, but definitely the least effective was using someone else's money to benefit someone else, and so that is definitely taxes. Hunter says the news reported that a local soup kitchen served 700 meals over the weekend, but that's about normal if you dig. Nearly half the Haitian immigrants are on SNAP. How many? What's the number? 6 is half of 12. Okay, yeah. No context on what half is. But anyway, why can't we take care of each other? Why is the government in control of taking care of people? If you were on SNAP, and really, it's a tough question, because I think if you're listening to this program, if you're listening to this podcast, or you're in my audience, you're probably more than happy with people taking care of each other instead of relying on the government. What if I was trying to think about if I was on SNAP, if I was taking SNAP benefits, if I was dependent on the government, would I rather be dependent on the government or on local charity, on local help? And I can't stress enough that it would be definitely the local people. But just seeing that $8 billion a month price tag on SNAP, and watching how quickly folks organized and have food available and ready for distribution, and a plan for distribution within days of a potential outage of the SNAP program with no funding. This all came from people that have already paid taxes, so they've already given the money for the other program, and somehow have come up with the means and the funds and the food to fill these shelves and be ready. Mike's Homestead says government has helped create a sense of entitlement, and most of us want nothing to do with those folks. Yeah. The entitlement part of it, the you owe me, I don't understand. I don't feel, I don't have I can't put together how that ends up happening. and it might be just a systemic problem. When has it been generations that it's been happening? Has your family or have you been receiving SNAP benefits since? Is that like the first thing you know? Is that the only thing you know? I picture myself having to go and ask for help, which is very hard for me to begin with. But going and asking for help, and then trying to do the gymnastics in my head to feel that I'm owed that help at some point. And if somebody isn't willing to help, being upset at that point. Um, it's a weird transition in my head. And I'm guessing that it has to do with longevity. That if you're just in the process of getting that payment, and it's gone, then you're a little pissed off about it. So I don't know how this is going to go long term, but I really feel that it looks like the public could definitely do a better job of providing assistance, and probably a healthier job of providing assistance. And instead of just giving people funds, giving them what they actually need is the food. The program is designed to provide nutrition in the event that someone can't afford it, providing them with money to make their own uneducated nutrition choices. Maybe providing food is the answer. Mike Homestead says, I've delivered a lot of food to Mexico. The people there start cooking it to share with us. Yeah. 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 Weird. Yeah, maybe we should start giving out food instead of and we talked about that in the Telegram chat this weekend, or this week also, was the old government cheese, where you used to go and get actual commodities. You used to get cheese and canned meat and things like that, instead of getting a check to go to the supermarket and buy whatever you want. So maybe that's the solution, is going back to that type of program. I bet it would cost a lot less. I bet there would be a lot of people that weren't happy with their Velveeta in a can and their steamed pork or whatever, steamed beef in a can, and instead of being able to go and buy what they want at the store. So I don't know. I definitely think people need help. I'm not a cold-hearted person that doesn't think that people need help, but I think there's more efficient and more effective ways to do it than just to give them money. So that's SNAP. We'll see how that goes. Last thing we'll touch on here. We're running kind of up on 7:00. Watched a new series on Netflix. Corey and I, bounce around. We watch different things. We'll watch TV series. We'll watch movies and this and that. By the way, if anybody, we watched Slam and Salmon over the weekend in honor of daylight savings. Every daylight savings, Saturday night we watch Slam and Salmon. If you don't know why, you'll need to watch the movie, but they definitely reference it multiple times during the movie that it was set on daylight savings. So it's just kind of a little thing that Corey and I do. If you haven't watched Slam and Salmon, it's from the same people as Super Troopers. We find it pretty funny, so you can check that out. The Slammin' with no G, just an apostrophe. Slammin' Salmon. But anyway, the other night we were looking for something to watch, and we found it was a list of little mini docuseries, and it was called Trainwreck, and so it had a different series, different topic for they were like two. Some were one episode, some were 2 or 3 episodes. But the topics that we blew through this weekend, we were watching a bunch of them. They had a whole series on Woodstock 99. And if you remember, Woodstock 99 was an absolute shit show that ended up with the place pretty much burning down. Mike Somsen says, I can find pictures of Mexican food sets. I'll share. They're cool from scratch ingredients most SNAP recipients would not want. Right. Yeah, for sure. But Trainwreck, Woodstock 99 was the first one we watched. It was really good, and it kind of got us sucked into the series. We wanted to see what else they had. Some other things that we watched on this Trainwreck series was a couple episodes on Rob Ford. If you don't know who Rob Ford was, he was the mayor of Toronto. He was the brother of the current mayor of Toronto. I think Rob Ford is or Doug Ford is currently the mayor of Toronto. Could be wrong on that, but I believe he is. Rob Ford was his brother. You might recall back in the was that in the early 2000s when he got caught smoking crack. He was very boisterous, loud, not your typical politician. So Rob Ford was a whole episode. You could learn all about him. There was a couple episodes on American Apparel, the clothing company that popped up and is now, I don't know if it's still around or just kind of hanging on. But American Apparel, that was an interesting story. The CEO of that company was something else for sure. Balloon Boy, the guy, the whole hoax of the kid going up in the homemade flying saucer in Colorado, that story was on there. The Storm Area 51 group, the group that had a Facebook meeting to meet up at Area 51 and all storm Area 51, saying that they can't stop us all, and how that all went down and the results of that. There was a Project X party. That was a pretty good one. If you don't know what Project X is, it was a movie about a viral party that got out of control. It was from the early to mid 2000s, but it actually happened in real life in the Netherlands. Somebody posted a party on Facebook. It ended up getting put as public and went viral. And this tells the story of really what happened when there was an open invite and there were hundreds of thousands of people that were supposed to show up to this party in this tiny little town. So you could check that out. And then there was an episode on the Astro World, the Travis Scott concert in Houston, where a bunch of people died from being crushed in a rush, and kind of how it happened, the story behind it. So if you're looking for some shorter docuseries, some stuff that you may remember happening, you maybe not know the whole story behind it. Maybe you heard about it in the news, and there were definitely interesting stories. They were well done. Check it out. Trainwreck over on Netflix, and I would definitely suggest the Woodstock 99. The Rob Ford one was really good. The Project X one I found pretty entertaining. So that's kind of what we've been watching. Got some product reviews coming up this week. Been checking them out. I actually have to check on one this morning when I head out to the property. I have a trail cam. Got a trail cam in that I'm evaluating, and then let me see. I think it's right here. Got a really nice foldable fillet knife for you fishermen. Maybe you, Mike Somstead, might be interested in the Fleesa foldable fillet knife. Have that. I've been messing around with. Got to make a video on that. Got a wireless, cordless jigsaw that it's still in the box. That's actually picked that up this weekend from the mail. I got to get that out and check it out. But I got a bunch of products on the way. I took a step back and really wasn't requesting a whole lot of products. I was getting caught up with a bunch that I had evaluated and was working on the cabin a lot. And since the cabin work really tailed off, I went on and put some time in and looked for some more products to request and talked to a bunch of companies about getting some samples in for evaluation to just get some more videos up. And so I got a bunch of stuff coming. I'm excited about that. The trail cam was easy setup. We'll see how the video and the pictures turn out. I put it someplace where I definitely will get some pictures, if not just me walking up to it and walking away from it. So that is something that I will check out today, and probably give it a little bit more evaluation, and then yeah, like I said, I got more stuff coming in the mail, so I'm excited about that. So beyond that, that's kind of what I had on the list. I'm gonna wrap it up here. I got a bunch to do today. I got to get out, check out on that road. I have and yeah, figure out a plan, figure out if we're going to be able to get a delivery truck in there or not, and figure out a contingency if we can't, and get rolling back on working on the cabin. I'm excited about that. So if you are if you want to hang out with us during the week and you want to over in the Telegram group, Mike Desjardins put pictures of the stuff that they took out to when he was delivering food in Mexico. You should definitely check that out. You should join us in the Telegram group, t.me/LotsChat. That's t.me/LotsChat. Great group of people that hang out, and we have conversations on all sorts of stuff during the week. So got to put in my my Bitcoin prediction for next week. I'll do that every week before the show is over, and then you can put in your guesses over on the Telegram chat. We're at 107,747. Next Monday, I feel we're going to be at 119,669. 119,669 is my guess for next Monday. If you want to get in on the guess, there isn't really anything you win. You get to have your name announced. I don't know. At some point, I might do a contest on the closest two, but right now we're just kind of guessing for fun. So head on over to the Telegram chat, put your guess in for next Monday morning, and we will read them live on the show. Beyond that, guys, I hope you have an awesome week. It's supposed to be a beautiful week of weather here, and hopefully we get rolling again on the cabin project, so we can eventually end up out there and enjoying nature. So hope you have an awesome week. I hope you get everything done you need. We'll see you over in the Telegram chat. Be sure to check out the sponsors and stuff listed in the video and audio descriptions. Help support the show, and I appreciate that. So we will talk to you again next Monday morning.